Hello and welcome. Like I said, I am forced to make this video to respond to one Alhaji Yerima whose video has gone viral. Alhaji Yerima, wannan video na yi don kai ne. Gaskiya ba laifinka bane. Yanda mutane masu iya magana suka ce wai gani renin wayo ne. Ka gani ko? Kun saba gan wawancin mutanen South da Southeast shine yasa ya kawo renin. Na gan video da kana yin kuma na ji banzan maganganun da kana yi a wancan video. Shine yasa dole na ce to bari in yi maka wannan video akan masu turanci suka ce a responsorial video. So Mr. Yerima, I just told you in Hausa in a language I believe you understand very well, and I'm responding to you on behalf of the great people of the Southeast region. And by Southeast region, I mean the people of the obnoxious South and the Southeast people together. Now, whatever it is that is giving you the courage to say the things that you said is because of the perception that you think for now we are not united. And I agree with you, we are not. But I believe you, and take this from me, one day we'll soon be united and we will checkmate whatever mischief that you have been doing. And let me also tell you, Mr. Yerima, for 100 years that Nigeria has existed, the North has refused to put their psychology in a position that puts them to unite with the people. They have refused to see us as part of them. I am somebody who schooled from the University of Maiduguri, and in all the times that I spent as a student of the University of Maiduguri, the localities never saw me as one of them. As a matter of fact, the only time we saw ourselves as one Nigeria is when Nigeria is playing a football match and there's a goal scored and we all shout a goal. That's only when we are Nigerian. After the match, we go about living as North and South. Now, I watched that video, and it's all about you campaigning for the North, and it's all about you justifying a reason why the North should continue to rule Nigeria ahead of 2023 election. Now, that is not strange to us. That is not new to us. That is not it's not a thing to even talk about. But there are certain aspects of that video that has forced me, and I said I must respond to you, Mr. Yerima. First of all, you said the North is being marginalized. That is a huge laugh. That is a great laugh. It's so laughable at all that the North could be talking about marginalization. And in your justification of saying that the North is marginalized, you said that Jonathan ruled for, Obasanjo ruled for 8 years. And Obasanjo ruled, sorry, I'm so angry. When I'm angry, I seem to get, but let me calm down. That Obasanjo ruled for 8 years. And Jonathan ruled for 6 years. And together that marks up 14 years. Whereas Yar'Adua ruled for just 1 year. And even if Buhari ruled for 8 years, it means the North has ruled for only 9 years. And the South still has 3 years above the number of years that they've ruled above the North. It's really laughable, and you could actually forward this conjecture, assuming we from the South were so stupid. What about the days that Babangida ruled? What about the days that the same Buhari that is ruling now ruled? The same Buhari that is ruling now ruled before. What about the days that Tafawa Balewa ruled? What about the days that Abacha ruled? So all those are not in question. All those are not in history. All those are not in perspective. And then you're saying that the few times that the South ruled, the North is marginal. That is a huge laugh. The person who was interviewing that video said, okay, well, if you said the North is being marginalized, what about the Southeast, who have not ruled before? Who has not ruled before? And in your defense of your postulation, you said, well, I also agree that you admitted that you say, actually, all things being equal, that the Southeast should be given a chance. But then you went on to say that, but for their loose son, and by their loose son, I am sure you are referring to Nnamdi Kanu. Well, it's a pity that you tag Nnamdi Kanu as a loose son. Well, I don't see him as a loose son. I see him as somebody who understands the need to place his people at a position of relevance. I see him as somebody who sees the injustices meted on his people. I see him as somebody who fights for the right, and rightly so, for his people. For you to call him a loose son, it's a mere psychological mischief that you're using to hoodwink everything. Now, somebody told me that responding to you is actually a waste of time, that you are not worthy to be responded to. But I felt it's very important to respond to you, because these are the same hogwash that you sell to the talakawas. That means the ordinary Arewa man on the street, and they buy this thing that the North is being marginalized. How can any sane northerner be postulating the fact that the North is being marginalized? I am lost at being at par with your sense of reasoning. But I will not reduce this video to abuses and insults. I am not wired that way. So I watched that video and I felt, if a man of your intelligence could be postulating the fact that the North is being marginalized, I can just say you're just towing the part of mischief, just trying to, you know, ridicule a common sense. What was it? I think as it is right now, I can clearly say that you are actually suffering from some sort of mental turbulence, and you don't know what you are saying. Now, you also boasted, you said you are not bragging, that the North has the numbers. That has been one. I have a video to that effect. The North is not more populous than the South at all. When you say the North, I'm sure when it's political, you include the middle belt and those people that you psychologically enslaved, and you add them to your numbers. I will ask you a question, Mr. Yerima. If the North is that more populous than the South, why do you rig elections? Why do you make it impossible to have a free and fair election? Why do you always use kids in the North to enhance the numbers of your election result? Why do you invite people from outside country to augment the results of elections from the North? If the North is so much populous, why are you always afraid of a free and fair election that clearly represents numbers of actual votes cast? So I am somebody, because I have lived with you, I know you, know your culture. I will tell you succinctly that the North is not more populous than the South. We are far more populous than you. In the South, where you travel a few kilometers and you meet a cosmopolitan, you travel 3 kilometers, you meet a cosmopolitan, compared to a North where you travel 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers before you meet existence, and you say you are more populous than us. Let me tell you for a fact that these lies that we have lived with all over the years, we will soon tell ourselves the truth. I am not a violent man. I am not a proponent of violence. But I will tell you that the lies upon which the North has, you know, cushioned itself to continue to have this political advantage will soon dissipate. We are Southeasterners. We love peace. We love oneness. But where a group of people believe that they are born to rule, and they are the only ones who can tell lies, they are the only ones who can steal and go scot-free, they are the only ones who can do anything in the country and go scot-free. People like us who are tag Christians or Southerners can say something that is true and will be locked for saying what is true. We cannot consider such a country as one country. For you to say a loose son is destabilizing the unity, I will ask you, Mr. Yerima, is Nigeria actually united? If we are united, why has the North, particularly the core North, refused to psychologically assimilate themselves with the people of the South region? You never see us as one. So what is the idea of unity when you constantly see yourselves as different from the people of the Southeast region? So it's a whole psychological mischief. When you continue to thrive in a misleading preponderance that the North has more population than the South. I tell you, the day you settle down for a normal election to take place, where you will not use underage, where you will not invite foreigners to do election, that day you will know that you have been living a lie, that the North is more populous than the South. The Southerners are more populous than the North. I will not go into that. You said again that in 2011, Jonathan should have conceded power to the North. The same you said it is a game of politics that the smartest should win. If Jonathan, I would tell you that the election of 2011 clearly states that if election in this country will be done in a free and fair election, the Northerner has no chance whatever to win any election in Nigeria. 2011 election is a clear testimony of this fact. But my people from the South who are politically naive didn't find the opportunity to strengthen that realization, to make them continuously have political dominance or political edge by the results of 2011. Rather, they lose their focus, and that's what you are enjoying today, and giving you the opportunity to make a very lousy statement in that video. I'm also happy that in that same video you agreed to one thing. At least you agreed to something, that what we the interviewer there asked you about competence, and in your own statement you said, well, that you have competent people in the north, not like what we have now. So by your own submission you agree that what we are currently admitting in terms of governance is an incompetent government. That is your own submission in that video. I'm not the one saying it, so nobody should come and say Magnus said the current government is incompetent. You said it, Mr. Yerima, in that same video. But I want to tell you, for the only few times that we have had good governance in Nigeria are the only time we had Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan. Those were the only, well, Yaradua, yes. Those were the only time we had good governance and meaningful development. And the reason why we will never have development when Northerners come into power or governance is because they never come with an all-inclusive psychology. They come with the mentality of siphoning money from the South to develop the North, which eventually doesn't develop the North. And it makes sense, so. But let me go ahead. You get me? So, for all the years that the North has been making mischievous policies that put the South at a disadvantage, that put the North at a leeching position to leech from the South is still far more developed than the South. We don't eat. We eat fine and we live fine. We must have balanced diet on our table, on our meals. So that's by the way. I added here now, when you keep saying the North, who is a Northerner? I'm sure if you say okay, for purpose of argument, let us agree that presidency should come to the North. I'm sure you are not referring to the Biron man in Plateau. I'm sure you are not referring to the Bachama man in Adamawa. I'm sure you are not referring to the Tiv man in Benue or the Idoma man in Benue. I'm sure you are referring to only somebody in Sokoto, in Kano, in Bauchi. So I think, Mr. Yerima, I would tell you without fear or favor that the North has dragged Nigeria backward. And for you asking for an extension or elongation of a northern presidency is only asking for us to extend the days of suffering of Nigeria. And for me, who loves enjoyment, for me, who loves development, for me, who love intellectual expansion, will not subscribe to a place whereby I continue to live backward. What we are currently living now is backwardness, and nobody wants to subscribe to backwardness. Finally, if you say the North is marginalized, what would you say about the Igbos? What would you say about other tribes who have not even tasted fourth position or fifth position or sixth position? I think so long as you people keep holding on to the mentality that the governance of Nigeria is an exclusivity of the North, we are going to continuously have a problem. And if you think that people who rise up to challenge the continuous mischief of the North is an offense, or as you describe it, loose son, my brother, be prepared to have many loose sons that will emanate and challenge the continuous mischievous mentality of the North, which says that they are born to rule. If you are born to rule, are we born to be slaves? My brother, think again. We are not, and we will liberate ourselves. Thank you.